everyone, and good evening to you, Brian Hinton, our club coach chair and a very good friend of mine, someone who I have looked up to in Toastmasters. Brian, this has been a wonderful opportunity for me to have you as a guest on our show for our viewers who may not be familiar with your current role and the past roles you have done, Brian. I would let you share your thoughts about it, and then I'm going to add some mix to what you have said. So, Brian, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Well, thank you, Robbie, first of all, for inviting me onto this show. And I do enjoy and actually admire you, have admired you for some years now. So I really am kind of humbled to offer some thoughts on this show. I've been in leadership roles for a number of years. I've actually fulfilled all of the club roles many times over. And when we had the close relationship when you were district director and I was finance manager, I remember that as a kind of a challenge. It was a lot of fun. And now my current position as club coach chair is actually something that I have done in the past back in 2010. So I'm familiar with how the club coach program works, and I'm excited now this year to kick off an exciting program for the club coaches as well as the clubs that are requesting club coaches.
Thank you, Brian. For those of you who may have known about Brian Hinton, one of my favorite things with Brian is that when I became district director, I definitely asked you to help me with the finances, which was very key for me at that time. And second thing, I do remember you as our district Toastmaster of the year from past and so many other accolades that you have received. Coming back to club coach chair role, Brian, what motivated you to become the club coach chair for this year? Was there any story or anything that you want to share with us?
There is kind of a little story. I'm going to try and not take a lot of time on that, but it is kind of maybe a little humorous, and maybe some of our viewers can actually relate to this type of a story. By nature, I'm kind of a reserved guy, and I don't really necessarily put myself out there in front of people and say, I'm going to do this. Actually, at the picnic that we had this past summer to kick off the year and celebrate last year, Colleen Marie came and asked me, and she said, I have a thought. Would you be interested in being a club coach chair? That is, club coach chair. And I said, it didn't take me too long. And I said, yes, I'll do that. People can relate to that, right? The 3-letter word rather than the 2-letter word. But I was confident that I could do it because I've done it before. And that's what it took to motivate me, was being asked. Otherwise, I might not have actually gone out there and suggested that, hey, I can do that.
You said yes, and I'm so glad you said yes, because I'll say one thing, club coach chair right now is a very important role. As I look at the clubs and the clubs that I belong to, we are struggling, and one of the clubs that I'm part of, the club coach makes a huge difference, motivates us, gives us a mirror. So you helping those club coaches is actually an excellent thing, excellent opportunity for us. I hope it's giving you all those fulfillments apart from saying yes. Brian, I'm not going to kid. Club coach is one of the toughest jobs, and chairing the role of a club coach for the entire district must have had some positive experiences or some other experiences. Please share with us some of those experiences you have had in this role so far.
As the club coach chair,
you can say about club coach chair, and in fact, if you have some nuggets from past experience, I would love to hear that too.
Okay, well, let's start. I've actually been a successful club coach, bringing the clubs to at least distinguished status. Been fortunate enough to have done that 4 times in the number of years that I've been here in District 6. I'm very pleased with that. And that's not really something to boast about at all for me. It's basically a testament to the people, helping others. That's what I am about. And that's what I intend for this year in Toastmasters, being club coach, not only to help the train, if you will, club coaches in the position, but also to have other clubs actually come in requesting information about club coaches and that they are actually asking. So I would not only be helping individuals, but in the long run, helping clubs as well. That's my goal for this year.
Love that. I love that you have such a positive outlook and you want to share the positive vibes by offering the best you can. You know, one thing is there, Brian, you have been in so many leadership roles. The one that the first role that I remember was Speechcraft chair. That goes really far. I still remember you coming to the to a restaurant in Burnsville, and I was part of the club. I really wanted to know. So I'm going to say you have had a wonderful experiences, but I'm sure you have had challenges during your leadership role in District 6. What were some of the challenges that comes to your mind today?
Well, some of the challenges that immediately come to mind. Let's start with finance manager, because I'm not really necessarily a finance type of a guy. I'm an engineer, and I have been for a number of years. Engineers like exact, and finances are exact. So there is a match, but the tools that are used are slightly different. I had an entire new set of tools to learn and basically no time to learn them. So yes, that was kind of a challenge for me to get going on my first few reconciliations. I guess that's what I ended up having to do, and getting that coordinated and finally figured out how to get that done. That was a big challenge. But I think one thing that may have actually led to me learning how to be a little bit better in, maybe a little more organized in my life, because it takes time to learn new tools. And I don't know, I try and look at things in a positive light, and that's one of the things that I think I learned on that.
Brian, I agree with you. Finances are exact. It's 0, 1 cents or 99 cents. It is 99 cents or 1 cent, not about 99 cents. But I also have to say, thanks to you, you were able to help us with those reconciliation and so many of those records. I am just very thankful to you for serving as the finance manager that year. So tools are always a challenge, and Toastmasters doesn't make it easy, while they are also figuring out what works best for everyone in the world. Brian, how have your past positions helped you in your progress? Now, you have had a wonderful, you mentioned you are an engineer by trade. So how has Toastmasters helped you in your professional or personal life?
One little story that I have about that is a goal that I had in Toastmasters years ago, was to learn how to get better at answering table topics questions. I'm still not necessarily the best. I don't provide the best answers, because there are times after table topics, I'll go home and think about it. It doesn't take me long. Oh, I should have said this. It has actually helped. I have actually won new positions, new jobs, if you will, when I was looking for new work. You hear that all the time, right? Toastmasters helps in that, but no, it actually is true. I didn't necessarily believe that it was, but learning how to answer those types of questions has actually, I felt, helped me in my career, not only in my Toastmasters life as well. That's one thing that I can think of right off the top, Ravi.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a supervisor and I interview people. I can easily tell people who have gone through Toastmasters training because their answers are well organized. So I was thinking about how, if I was the hiring manager and you had come in as the candidate, there is no doubt you would have outshined everyone, because in the end, as an engineer, you are very good with technology, with mechanics, but expressing them, that is a whole new challenge. So Toastmasters table topics does a wonderful job in honing that skill of ours. So I can definitely relate to that. Brian, you are serving as a club coach chair. Do you want to share something about this role, on anything that our district can help you, or you have something where the district can be helped? Do you want to share something about the club coach area?
I remember Colleen Marie asking me a question similar to this early on, and what kind of goals that I might have for this role. One thing that I would like to see is a successful club coach. And if we can actually increase that, we're doing pretty good. The number of coaches completing their roles in the 2-year time frame that they get is pretty good. I've seen the numbers. But if we can increase that, not only are we helping individuals, but we're also helping those clubs to gain more members, introduce more people to Toastmasters, have more people learn those types of skills. So one thing that I'd like to do is help train the club coaches in how to become successful, and also help where I can so that I can help them achieve their goals in their leadership journeys as well. It's kind of a it's kind of a pie in the sky type of a goal, but I know that there's a lot of clubs out there. I was just looking just moments ago about the dues, and there are a number of clubs out there that we're essentially at the end of September, and there are a number of clubs out there that are still needing members. So I think you're right. We have some big challenges this year.
We do. And incidentally, I happen to be part of District 106, where I'm serving as a coach. It's the same story there as well. And I'm pretty sure, and based on the Facebook posts that I have read, it's all over the world. The pandemic has created a situation where we were not ready for. So I think your role as a club coach chair is especially a challenging one this year. First, as district, we can definitely step forward with our own ideas, new ideas. Any idea is new right now, as well as share with you where you become the focal point or the nucleus of all the ideas that come into you.
Yeah. One other thing that I did want to say in this is that I have set up a monthly training session for club coaches. And as we appoint newer club coaches, we'll make sure that we invite them as well. They actually start on the second Wednesday in October. I don't happen to have that available right away, but I think it's October 13th at 7 o'clock. And I'm putting together a Zoom session on that. This will be an opportunity for the current club coaches to share amongst one another, as well as ask questions. And if there's any help that I can provide, I certainly will.
I hope there will be other sessions too. I'm not sure when our recording will go online, but I do hope people will keep checking the events calendar and make sure that there is an opportunity for people to, even if they are not going to be club coaches, just to attend and see what it takes. Sometimes knowing more about the role helps us make quicker decisions. It took me 3 years to finally say yes to area governor, which is what used to be at that time. Once I became it, now it is no longer a mystery. But since I did not know about the role, it looked very daunting. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
I remember that too, and being asked the very first time I was an area governor, I was too, many years ago, I said, oh, I don't think I can do that. And then a month later, I came back to the current area governor at the time and said, I think I'd like to do that. I'd like to try that.
Very nice. Brian, any positive or encouraging message that you want to share with our viewers today?
I would like to leave the audience with this because it's very appropriate to me. I've always thought I don't have enough time. So this is my message. If you think you don't have enough time, reassess your situation. If you really want that leadership experience, which I have, you will find that time. It all boils down to how you manage your time.
Indeed, we definitely have come to the end of a wonderful time. I could go on. I don't want to manage my time, but I do agree. It comes down to managing our time, and we can make things work. Brian, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for your service throughout the years, and especially this year as our club coach chair. It has been wonderful. Hope you continue to have success in District 6, and I look forward to walking on the journey with you. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Thank you for having me here. And I'm looking forward to a successful year as well.